Meanwhile, pioneer families were arriving in search of home sites and farmland. John had located his orchids on the routes he thought they'd be traveling. As he had hoped, the settlers were eager to buy his young trees. John went out of his way to lend a helping hand to his new neighbors. Often he would give his trees away. People affectionately called him Johnny Appleseed, and he began using that name. Ask yourself, where is a really great, exciting adjective for Johnny here? Point to it, write it in your notebook, and then continue reading. He particularly enjoyed entertaining children with tales of his wilderness adventures and stories from the Bible. In 1812, the British incited the Indians to join them in another war against the Americans. The settlers feared that Ohio would be invaded from Lake Erie. I want you to stop the video in a little bit, but then I want you to write down 2 words that you found exciting and look them up. Write them down and then write down their meaning. Pause now. It grieved Johnny that his friends were fighting each other, but when he saw the smoke of burning cabins, he ran through the night, shouting a warning at every door. After the war, people urged Johnny to build a house and settle down. He replied that he liked living in a king in the wilderness home, and he returned to the forest he loved. During his long absences, folks enjoyed sharing their recollections of Johnny. They retold his stories, and sometimes they even exaggerated them a bit. Some recalled Johnny sleeping in a treetop hammock and chatting with the birds. Others remembered that a rattlesnake had attached his foot. Fortunately, Johnny's feet were as tough as elephant's hide, so the fangs didn't penetrate. It was said that Johnny had once tended a wounded wolf and then kept him for a pet. An old hunter swore he'd seen Johnny frolicking with a bear family. As the years passed, Ohio became too crowded for Johnny. He moved to the wilds of Indiana, where he continued to clear land for his orchard. When the settlers began arriving, Johnny recognized some of the children who had listened to his stories. Now they had children of their own. Now I want you to stop here and think to yourself, how would the character Johnny Appleseed feel about the new settlers, people that he's known? And then I want you to think about the evidence to support it.